Hello, everyone. Commissioner K7 here with your draft recap update. It is Sunday night, and our draft has finally been completed. Unfortunately, I did not record the draft as we were going on because I didn't realize it at the time, and by the time I did, it was a little bit too late. Sorry about that. However, what I can do is get a recap going. So, let me pull her up for everybody. Boop that right on there. And there it is. All right, now let me just move myself down a little bit to the side. Perfect. All right. Well, it was for a 14-team league with 16, or actually, no, not 16. Was it 16? Yep, with 16 players for each team. So, let's go down the rounds a little bit, see if anything stands out or if anything is interesting. Our number one overall pick by Pretty Boy Snow was Saquon Barkley, followed by the number two pick of Christian McCaffrey by myself for the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers, and followed by Alvin Kamara by the Big Guys Gunners. First round turned out pretty decently. Little different in my expectations. I thought that running backs would just be off the damn board between the first two rounds, but there were a good number of wide receivers picked. First wide receiver going with the number 6 pick by Erie Cucaracha Roach with DeAndre Hopkins. Really good pick, but is what it is. However, there was one surprise with Le'Veon Bell. Usually, Le'Veon Bell goes a little later in the drafts, but Chris P obviously thinks of him pretty highly, so went number 7. Anything else interesting in the first round? Got Julio Jones, decent. Todd Gurley went a little early because of the injury history, but when he's healthy, he can be pretty nasty. And also another interesting one from earlier, Ezekiel Elliott. Even with all the issues going on, it fell to Grumpy at number 5 and went with the pick. Everything else went pretty according to plan now that wide receivers started going off the board in the first round. Got some in the second round, wide receiver. Our first quarterback was picked by Planet Hulk World Breakers with the third pick in the round 2, so that would be pick number 17. After essentially the hearts broke on that one, we started seeing more QBs going. We had Parts Unknown Lasecki pick up Baker Mayfield, followed by Phillip Rivers by the Columbus Rebels. Let's see, our first tight end on the board went by pick number 8, also by Chris P with Travis Kelce. But that is a good strategy though. Grabbing a surprisingly thin position this year, grabbing it for the 8th pick in the second round. Antonio Brown went to the Roach, so he did a double wide receiver pick. Very good. Grumpy with a rather surprising pick especially after Ezekiel Elliott, he went with Melvin Gordon. So he basically picked both of the contract issue people early on. Mari Cooper, Mike Evans. I was actually kind of surprised that Fournette fell down to me at the 13th spot in round 2, so essentially the number 27 pick. But then again, with all the wide receivers and quarterbacks going early, not surprising that I was able to get a decent second running back to go with McCaffrey, but it is what it is. And let's slide down here. George Kittle went with Snow with his first pick of the third round. But then again, being a corner pick is what it is. That's when I picked my first wide receiver with Keenan Allen. Had Aaron Jones going, which he was my third pick after if Fournette wasn't there. So there you go. Ertz. So we had our holy trinity of tight ends go by the early third round with Grumpy. So far, Grumpy picked an interesting strategy with 2 with 2 contract issues, followed by Zach Ertz. So, hey, you could have an interesting team if everything turns out well. More pile of wide receivers and running backs went, so now we're definitely getting into the second tier of running backs. Got Cooks, Diggs, Thielen. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Kerryon Johnson right there. Josh Jacobs. I was surprised Jacobs went this early, even in a 14-team league. But he is one of the higher ones in the second like I wouldn't even say second tier, but third tier. He's definitely one of the higher ones. So, is what it is. Yeah, we got Derrick Henry. After a round of no quarterbacks, we got our next quarterback with Deshaun Watson, with Metropolis Kryptonite picked them. Yeah, Marlon Mack with the retirement of Andrew Luck. Marlon Mack is probably going to be playing a big role, so that was a good pick there. Let's see, you got Matt Ryan, Ingram, and Hunter Henry, which I think went a little early, but 14-team league on a thin position, can't blame him. James White, Mike Williams, Wilson went early. Galladay a little early. Godwin, I think, fell a little late. I'm surprised Breeze actually got picked this early, but like I said, fits your team, go for it. I was able to snag Jeffrey there, which I think was a pretty decent steal at pick number 13 in round 4, which is like, let's see, so we got 28 near, that's like pick like 50, 55, which I think was pretty good. Cooper Kupp definitely, I think, went early, especially considering there's 2 wide receivers ahead of him. But is what it is. Round 5 is when more of the QBs went off the board, including my own pick. The injury to Cam Newton definitely didn't seem to hurt Snow's pick there. Aaron Rodgers, which I'm surprised he went with Newton over Rodgers, but then again, Rodgers is slowing down a bit, but it is what it is. Definitely think he's better than Trubisky and Roethlisberger, which were the next 2 QBs to go. But here's the fun part in round 5. We had a couple interesting picks here. Our first kicker went off the board in round 5 with Greg Zuerlein by the Roach's team. Erie Cucaracha Roach. With the 6th pick in round 5, we have our first kicker. And we have our first defense, with the Chicago Bears defense going in the 12th pick of round 5 by Planet Hulk. See any other interesting picks inside this setup? No, but this one almost threw me out of my chair. But there are strategies out there that aren't auto picks that involve picking a kicker early. None of them would have him go this early. Hey. Well, Roach, congrats on your kicker. And congrats on your defense, Hulk. So you already got the committee running backs going this round. You got Cohen. You got This one I thought was, it's either really early or really good. When Duke Johnson, the replacement of Lamar Miller on the Houston Texans, Grumpy Groupies snagged him in the 5th round, which in a very deep league like this, grabbing sleepers are very hard to come by. And this pretty much proves that point. It's like I had Johnson. I was planning on picking up Johnson in like round 8 or 9 as like an early sleeper, but hey, good on him. Good on him. Can't blame him for that. All right, let's move to round 6. Got Boyd, which is I think is a very good pick considering the injuries to AJ Green. This might be his. I think this is going to be Boyd's breakout year. That's a good one. Tyler Lockett, good. Watkins, Ridley. Oh, our second defense went with the Vikings with parts unknown. Jarvis Landry, which in a what looks to be a resurgent, not even resurgent. They've never had a good offense. A newly surgent offense in Cleveland. You actually get a quarterback who wants to play there. Can't blame that. Hey, it could be good things. So this one may end up being a surprise top wide receiver after Odell Beckham. So against a smart defense that crowds OBJ, Landry's going to definitely benefit from that. And we got Philip Lindsay, Sanders, which I think went a little early. Here we are back to another grumpy pick with T.Y. Hilton. With the retirement of Luck and the backup coming in who put up some career worst numbers for Hilton last year. Grumpy felt the need to pick Hilton, which for a number one wide receiver in the pile could be good. And hey, it just might end up being a steal, but right now his stock just plummeted. Plummeted like a Twitter economy. Okay, well, let's see. You got Robbie Anderson, which, all right. D.D. I was happy that D.D. Westbrook went, especially with Nick Foles throwing to him now. All right, I snagged Sanders as part of the semi-committee in Philadelphia as my backup running back, which could help. Unfortunately, shares a bye week with another one of my players, which I'm kicking myself for when there were other when someone like Eckler was available, or Peyton Barber. That's the one I should have gone with, but it is what it is. I do apologize for the sound of my voice right now. I spent most of the day at Hershey Park, so my voice is kind of dead. But I shall continue on. Yeah, Moncrief, Dante is going to be pretty good in Pittsburgh now that Brown is gone. And Juju's good, but we have the number 2 now, new number 2. All right, in round 7, Eckler, good pick, especially if Gordon continues to have his contract issues, and it's looking like he's not going to be there for the start of the season. So Eckler's definitely going to be an early season snag. Got the number 1 wide receiver for Carolina, which take it as it is. Got one of our, I believe our, yep. Actually, no, it's our second tight end picked after the Holy Trinity with David Njoku, or however you pronounce it. And there goes Kyler Murray with Brooks, round 4. This is when AJ Green went, which, if he comes back healthy, this could be one of the steals of the draft. Round 7 in a 14-team league for AJ Green. That's a fantastic pick. I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't snag it, but then again, at the time I noticed it, but I went with a safer pick than the high risk, high reward, which seems to be Grumpy's MO for this draft. A lot of risk, a lot of behind the scenes drama, but very high reward if everyone comes in and plays as they're supposed to. Yeah, we got Peyton Barber, Dak Prescott, Evan Engram. Oh, right. This, like the pick of Njoku, signaled a bit of a run on tight ends going for the next 2 rounds, which pissed me off, to be perfectly honest. Because it's like I had every tight end I queued up was gone off the board after my Moore pick, which I was considering doing with the tight end. I was like, I'll probably have a tight end by the next round with seven of them queued. Shows what I know. Yep, we got Coleman, which is the top of the committee there. Another defense. The Cleveland Browns defense, which I think that felt like a homer pick right there, but hey, it's your team. Make you happy. Yep, got Coleman, Walker, Curtis Samuel's fine. That's the number 2. Yeah, I got Moore, and then Samuel went, which I was kind of surprised, but hey, who knows? Yeah, Hook. You got Cook, Hooper. Round 8. Round 8, you had the ever popular Will Fuller. Bills defense, which that one actually kind of surprised me, considering how painfully bad they were last year. But Jimmy Graham went off, which surprised me for that early, but is what it is. Crowder, O.J. Howard, Greg Olsen, got the number 1 wide receiver in probably going to be a dismal Giants offense, passing offense anyway. MJJ, Vance, Herndon, and then you got Breida, which is the other head of the committee. Kirk is going to be a surprise pick, because I think the lead back is still Fitzgerald, but he's primed to take over that number 1 spot in Arizona. Yep. And then after all those tight ends went, and me being angry about it, I was able to snag Kyle Rudolph, which, perfectly honest, I felt kind of dirty picking. Is what it is. Dante Pettis for San Francisco. Rounded out that round. Which, if San Francisco ever gets their act together, he could be primed for a good year, but I don't know. Hey, could be wrong. Now is when all the handcuff picks started appearing in round 9. You got Freeman, the handcuff in Denver. Penny's the handcuff in Seattle. Got the handcuff wide receiver in for Denver. Lamar Jackson is decent QB. LaShawn McCoy, who's a talk about a fall from grace for him. It's like he goes from being like the lead back in a prominent offense to being part of a committee on one of the lowest fantasy scoring running back committees in the league. But hey, give you a wild guess on who picked them. Got the grumpy groupies right there. Oh, another defense by Iri Kukaracha Roach. We have our second kicker going. Round 9, pick 7 with Justin Tucker. Chris P snagged him there. And we got Carson Wentz. Got the backup running back in New Orleans. So, hey, if there's an injury, that'll work. There goes Larry Fitz, which I thought that was a good pick for round 9. You got to actually have a number one or fighting for number 1 wide receiver of that team. Granted, in fantasy, he's a wide receiver 3 at best, but he's consistent, at least. There go now we're in the crappy tight end range. The Disley another kicker. It's my Kokamish snagged that one. Now we have the backup for Marlon Mack going in round 9, pick 14. But is what it is. And now here's when all like the backup spots and the remaining usually lower picks in a normal draft would go. Where round 10 we got either backups. This is when like a little bit more strategy comes into play. Like we got a couple kickers going. We got Gostkowski. We got Butker going in this round. Got a couple defenses. Got the Eagles going and the Rams, which honestly I think like round 9, round 10 is when most people pick their defenses. But here we are in the 14-team league. That's what we got. Yep, now we got some backup. Got a lot of backup wide receivers picked. Got more tight ends picked. We got Captain Concussion right here. The Chris P's Jordan Reed. Shaggy Sharks. And we got us. I thought the steal pick of this draft was Adrian Peterson. I actually had him queued up that round, but is what it is. So yeah, we got Big Guys Gunners picking AP in Washington, which if he Remember, hey, it wasn't too long ago when AP was the unanimous number 1 pick in the draft. Yep, then we got the Rams, which I think was a pretty decent defensive pick, at least for the round 10 anyway. And we got the second wide receiver in Philly with Deshaun Jackson. Next one. This is when I did something stupid. I was going through my queue a bit, reorganizing it. Then my pick popped up, and rather than clicking who I wanted to, I just clicked where my mouse was, and that was Kareem Hunt, the suspended backup running back in Cleveland. Kind of annoyed about that one, especially considering the one I wanted to pick, Darrell Henderson, also went in the same round. But I seem to be throwing my hands up a lot in these, but it is what it is. Yep, we got another quarterback, Derek Carr. Got the handcuff Geronimo out. We got the Geronimo Allison, not really handcuffed, but number 2 or 3 inside a potent Green Bay offense. Like, I wanted to snag him too, but me being stupid. There you go. Especially considering I have Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Miller, James Washington, who's definitely fighting for that number 2 role in Pittsburgh. Deion Lewis. This is like when most people throw in flyers or grabbing handcuffs or knocking out the second pick or like the number 2 or number 3 wide receivers on teams. Or Jets quarterbacks. There's that. Round 12. Got Mark Andrew, Hawkinson, Jones, Hamilton, Ebron. This is when the next tier of wide receiver of tight ends really kicked in. Like, I think it was like the 4th tier or something like that. The ones that are either really, really down in their luck or in offenses that don't do jack for tight ends, or they're the backup tight ends, or the number 2 tight ends when the number 1 usually is more for blocker. But is what it is. Yep, we got Golden Tate, who when he comes back from a suspension, he should fit in really, really well. Now that Beckham is gone. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, I think, is a fantastic backup quarterback pick. I'm not sure I forget if he picked a quarterback earlier, but Kirk Cousins in the Minnesota offense, he has 2 of the best weapons and one of the best running backs. So he's going to have a lot of targets. The only issue I see with him is that the offensive coach, it's like the offensive coordinator got changed to a very running back oriented one, which probably it might hurt his value. But if he sticks with the playbook that they had last year, I think round 12, pick 7 is a fantastic backup quarterback pick for Kirk Cousins. I know because I had him on my queue, and bye-bye. Kenny Stills, decent pick. Josh Allen is... Ugh. Carlos Hyde, decent handcuff pick. That's when I picked Nick Foles. Don't really know about him. Round 13, getting into all the backups and when more defensive and kickers are going. Like I got my backup tight end there. There's a backup. They got the backup running back. Another possible handcuff for KC. You got Carlos Hyde and Darwin Thompson. So it's more of a risky pick, seeing who gets the job. Pile of defenses. This is when more like the first time kickers went. Like more like the teams that picked like one kicker started picking them right now. It's like 13, 14, 15, because no one wants to be stuck in the last round with a scrapyard kicker. But yeah, you got Fairbairn, you got Elliott, and that's it for that one. Round 14, more defenses, more kickers. More defenses, more kickers, more flyers. Anything interesting in here? Let's see. That's why we got Crosby. Funchess, no. Gould was a good pick for a kicker there. Nope. Let's see, anyone interesting? And another handcuff in case the running back goes down. Nicole Hardman, I think, was a really good pick, especially considering he's one of like the direct backups to the main crew there. So if one of them goes down, he's going to be a really, really solid pick for when for Mahomes. Now we're into the final 2 rounds. Let's see, this is when a lot of the Flyers went as well. You got Rosas, decent pick. I thought this was a good, really like a surprising steal for the 15th round, like a Ted Ginn Jr. He's the number 2. He's essentially the number 2 in New Orleans, and that's a high scoring offense. So snagged him there. It's like I don't like tooting my own horn on that one, but I don't know, for a round 15 pick, I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, you got Snell, Witten. He still has yet to find a real good spot in the Dak Prescott offense, which actually surprised the hell out of me, considering how good he was with Romo. Even though he is older, he's still great tight end. It's just underutilized. Yeah, Chris Thompson. Gone are the days of CP3. But let's see. You got the Skins, Justin Jackson, which I think is a decent pick too. Final round, we got Chris Conley, which if Foles turns that passing offense around, he could be set for a really good year. A Crabtree, got Traquan Smith. Yep, he was the other one aside from Jin in the New Orleans offense that I was looking at, but I went with someone who usually has been a bit more reliable as the number 2 than Smith. Fant, another surprise. I think he'd be good in any other offense. To be perfectly honest, but it's your team. Round 16, number 9, Eli Manning. Oh yeah, DJ Chalk and the next Philly wide receiver. All right, so that's all 16 rounds. Let's just go through the list just to show you. You got my team, pretty decent. You got Brooks, Sharks. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at my team right there. You got. I think I have probably one of the best running back crews in the league right now. Wide receivers could be better. Probably, potentially a number 1 quarterback. If he finds his form again. My backups are kind of crap though. My tight ends are crap. Otherwise, I think it's a decent team. Let's see what Brooks got. Brooks got 3 early running backs and 2 early wide receivers. DJ's good. Williams is in a position to have a really good year. No doubt. Godwin's on Tampa Bay, and that's hit or miss. You could either have someone like Joey Galloway or whoever the hell they had last year with Jameis Winston. Montgomery, decent pick. Robbie, decent backup. This one he's either going to have it's a lot of hype behind this one. A lot of hype on this guy. But if he lives up to the hype, that could be a steal for pick 7. For round 7. Pick 88. Yep, and I was absolutely right with the numbers. So, I'm always avoiding Jets players. Lamar Jackson, good. Doyle, Miller, Hyde. Yeah, decent pick. And guys kicker in the final round, which final round Vinatieri? About 5 years ago, that would have been incredible. But hey, you probably have a swan song this year. All right, let's go Sharks. These are all my opinions. Early. If you're gonna use an early pick on a tight end, might as well be Kelsey. Not really a running offense, but good. Good player. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended again. Hurts a lot. Still for some reason trying to figure out his offense. Decent. Early on a kicker, but is what it is. Like, if you a personal thing for me is never pick a kicker before defense. Considering kickers, all of them put up similar numbers unless you're getting an elite kicker. And Tucker, while he's up there, he's definitely top 5. Still early. And then he gets a backup kicker back then, so. But then again, he did play the role well. He actually used the bench spots to get a backup for every position. So good on him. Hopefully his bye weeks work out well. Richard's good, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, we got Jimmy G as his backup, which all right, let's go parts unknown the Secchi. OBJ, good. Oh, that one I didn't notice at the time. This could be majorly good. You got the wide receiver QB combo. Those are always really good if they have good years. Cooks, hey, you got a number 1 wide receiver there. It's a number 1 running back in a. I don't like the offensive line for Baltimore this year, but see if Ingram can make some gold out of it. Tom Brady, old reliable. See if age actually catches up to him. The Vikings early in my opinion, but if you're gonna hit up a defense, might as well go for a good one. Coleman, top running back of a committee, which Secchi's running backs aren't that. It's not a good combo for running backs, but he makes up for it with some really solid receiving cores, and he got a decent tight end. See if he could keep it going from last year. Larry Fitz is a great backup for it. So his wide receivers are he probably has some of the best wide receivers in the league, or at least some of the best combinations in the league for the receiving. But his running backs are good luck to him on that one. Yeah, guy's kicker there. Okay. Let's see the co-commission Metropolis Kryptonite. You got a good. I think this is a solid running back combo. He got the number 1 wide receiver in the Rams offense. It's like, I like Cooks, but Woods is listed currently as the number 1. But Goff does have two options. Should work. Got Watson. Good quarterback, but he's going to really need to step it up now that his main running back is gone. So they're going to be focusing on him. Yep, you got Guice. You got Darius for the running back in Washington. Good. Part of a slight committee though with AP, so we'll see how it goes. Lockett, Cook. This I think was a solid tight end pick. Bills, not so much. Early on the kickers, but if you're going to follow along with it, you might as well go for one on a high-scoring offense. And then we got our backups and our handcuffs. All right, decent. Big guy. Let's see how he did. Good pick with Kamara. Evans, same type of deal I said in regards to Godwin. Evans is the number 1 in that offense for sure, but he hasn't really done as well as he probably could in any other offense. Good pick on Aaron Jones for running back, especially with Rodgers winding down his career. Yeah, Jones is a good pick. Breeze, reliable. Robinson, definitely one of the main targets. Dede. As I said before, I like the Dede Westbrook pick. Joku, good. Breida was one of the other heads of the committee there. AP, you got the backup slash second head of the committee. Decent for a backup pick. Yeah, so you got your two main ones, and you actually have two really good backups along with Thompson. You have potential to have some of the. I think, if everything goes according to plan, that could be a really, really solid set of backups. Good trade bait. Allison, I think, is pretty good. I'm probably going to end up talking to you about him. Darwin Thompson, good. Broncos. Witten, hey, if he finds a spot in that offense, number 199th pick of the draft, can't go wrong there. Good. That's a solid draft. All right, Planet Hulk. Let's go. Tyreek Hill, and oh wow, yep, he got the Hill Mahomes combo. It seems like if you're later in the draft and you went with a wide receiver, chances are you snag their quarterback afterwards. Good job. Good job. It's like if you're going to do that, that's exactly what you do. But let's see if Mahomes can keep it up. Had an amazing season last year. It is Andy Reid, though. Josh Jacobs, Mac, good offensive line, though. So if anyone's going to survive the debacle of Luck retiring, it's probably going to be Mac. Bears way too early, but if you're going to burn a defense pick in round 5, you might as well go with the Bears. Watkins, high risk, high reward. Wow, you got all the Mahomes weapons. Damn. That's actually, I didn't even notice that at the time. Nice. Samuel, yeah. Graham could be a surprise pick if he comes back into form. Goff, late quarterback pick, but a good one. He picked one with a lot of weapons. Nice job. Howard is the backup running back. Number 2 or number 3 wide receiver for Green Bay. So it's might as well snag one from a high scoring offense. Jones, decent handcuff pick. Elliott's fine, and then you get the rest of them. Yeah, decent backup. All right. Roach, I think he auto-picked his first couple rounds, but oh well. Because Hopkins, Brown, and Edelman. I can understand going with the double wide receivers. At least you fill that up really, really, really early, and you definitely got the two really good ones. Then Edelman as a backup before anything else was picked. But is what it is. Now, here's the rest that confuses me. Well, you get Wilson's good. Decent pick for a 4th round in the 14-team league. I don't know your strategy. I don't agree with that pick. But you got yourself the kicker you wanted. Dexter Williams, decent pick. Decent. It's when your first running back is a backup to a committee. Is the out of like the 70-30 split, you pick the 30. Yeah. Like I would have actually picked Peyton Barber in Williams' spot, but Barber fell, so good for you. Vance McDonald, decent pick. Saints, good. Yeah, for a backup quarterback, you could do worse. Lewis, Stills I like. I like that one. That was a good pick later in the draft. Bernard, Williams, Goddard, and Eli. Good old Eli. All right. So aside from the kicker and 3 wide receivers, and picking a 3rd wide receiver that early in a 14-team league, I would highly recommend you shopping one of these guys for a running back. Greensburg honor. Here we go. Adams, good. Juju, good. I see 3rd round, he didn't go for a backup. Good. Sonny Michael and Derrick Henry. Two second tier running backs, but 2 solid. I wouldn't say second tier, but two decent enough running backs to be picked then. You got Roofie Ben there, or Ben Roethlisberger. You got Boyd. I think is probably one of your best picks because with all the injuries to Green, he is primed to just explode. Like this as a backup wide receiver pick, fantastic job. Hooper, that was part of the tight end run. You're able to get one. Good job. Fuller, very popular pick in a 12 team league for like a fourth or fifth wide receiver, snagging it as your fourth one. Pretty good. Hines as a backup to Mack. Early for a kicker, but whatever. At that point, you might as well. Williams, Andrews I think could be a good one. Mariota as a backup, could do worse. Steelers, Jackson, Conley. All right. Yeah, no earlier defense pick. That's for a late round first defense. Nice. Pretty Boy Snow, our number one pick. Yep. Told me he was going to do this a while ago when he got the number one pick. Yeah, Barkley was definitely going for him. Snagging Freeman you could do a lot worse for a number two running back. Kittle, rather than going after wide receivers, you went with one of the best tight ends. Good job. Kupp as your first wide receiver, I think was a bit. I think that was a bit of a stretch. Yeah, it's a very pass heavy offense, but he's the third one after two really good ones. So I always think that people are a little bit too high on him unless someone gets hurt. And if you're relying on someone who gets someone higher getting hurt as your number one wide receiver, I wouldn't. Newton, decent, but health risk. Dante, he's definitely in the mix. So it's like two good wide receivers, great tight end, decent quarterback. As your main wide receivers, it's like I would pick either of these guys as a good number 3, or maybe a number 2. Like Kupp could maybe be a number 2 in a 14-team league, but is what it is. Eckler, I think, was a great pick. I like Eckler, especially with the Gordon being Gordon. He could be this year's James Conner. Really could. Freeman, decent handcuff pick for the Denver running back. Pettis, awful passing offense, but if you're gonna grab someone from there, you might as well grab him. Jackson, I think, was a decent one, especially if Jeffrey either gets hurt or defenses start covering the hell out of him. Jackson could be primed for a good year. Carr as a backup quarterback is good because grabbing Antonio Brown's quarterback as a backup, can't go wrong there. Wilson, decent. Ravens good for your defense, good. Rosas, in an offense that's going to have a very hard time scoring, a very hard time getting to the end zone, Rosas is a good pick. I like that. Like, I was actually going to grab him, but you snagged him right before I could. Bastard. Nelson Aguilar. Yeah, might as well finish it off. All right, moneymakers. Here we go. Let's see if he was able to make money out of his pick. Michael Thomas, can't go wrong there. And you went with one of the ace wide receivers, and then followed it up with a double running back. Okay, see how that goes. And just in case one of them kind of mess out, able to snag Drake. Okay, Matt Ryan is. He's either going to have a year like 2016 or a year like 2017. So you got that range. You Drake, Ridley. Ridley as a number 2 wide receiver. I like that. Yeah, I can take that. Walker is a good pick if he doesn't get hurt. Like last year he was hurt the entire year, so that tight end crew was a pile of awful. With one exception that they didn't use nearly enough in what's his name? Shoot, I know the guy too. Dang it. Whatever. Oh, Ferkser. There you go. it's like he's blocking the path of, I think, a better tight end, but he's fantastic. But when you're blocking the path of someone who's better, and the coaching staff doesn't just focuses on you, hey, you take the points that you get, right? All right, so that's good. Crowder, fine as a backup wide receiver. Disley, I was gonna say, he's like, I think you caught him after the big rush of tight ends, so you make the best with what scraps you can get for your number one. Good defense pick. It's rough that Luck retired, because Brissett, granted, it is his. I can understand him doing horrible his first season. Hopefully his second season turns out better. Hamilton's good. Fairbairn, I think he was the best kicker I think he's the best kicker in the league, especially with the offense that he has. So I think he made a very good kicker pick. Funchess, well, hey, at least he got his quarterback. Redskins and Fant, not bad for backups. All right, here we go, Grumpy. Mr. Grump, Danny Thunder. This one, what I said during the draft was he's either going to be the number one team in the league or the dead last team in the league, and Elliott should get a deal done hopefully soon. So that, for a number one pick, I think that was all right, and it fell far enough that, yeah, good job. Melvin Gordon, though, you got to hope that he either gets that contract or that number two pick is going to bite you in the ass. Zach Ertz, grab one of the Trinity, might as well. Galladay, fine. My sleeper pick, my later sleeper pick going this early. I should have known better, but I still think that's a little too early for him. But hey, he might explode. That's why he was a sleeper. There are no sleepers in this draft, right? T.Y. Hilton, 6th round in a 14-team league at pick number 80. Yeah, fine, but that's dependent on if Brissett actually does well. Green, all dependent on if he gets healthy. So it's either going to be a fantastic pick at number 7 if he gets healthy and goes back to form, or it's going to be a major waste for your number 3 wide receiver. But then again, you already had 2 wide receivers picked before. Good on you. Kirk, decent pick. Decent pick, definitely primed to take over Fitz's job. McCoy, one of the main running backs in one of the worst running back cores, or worst scoring in fantasy terms running back cores. But then again, as your number 4 pick, that's fine. It's like you have Elliott and Johnson going. You have possibility of Gordon. You might as well take the flyer. Kiki, good. James Washington, he's going to be in the mix. He really is. I think he's going to be really in the mix. But as your first quarterback pick, going with the Buffalo Bills and Daniel Jones. High risk, potential for decent rewards. But tip my hat to you on that one. Go big or go home, right? All right, Mr. Treebing, let's go. Team Treebing. Good. Solid wide receiver, solid running back, another solid wide receiver. Part of a mix, part of a committee for number 2. That's fine. But then again, you got another committee right after it. Might as well see which one turns out better. Actually, wow, you got three committees going. Hey, might as well stack the deck to see which one pops up first. You got Ingram, good. Ingram, I think, is primed for a decent year. Shepard, Giants. It's the risk of going with the Giants. That's if Eli is awful now, but if they decide to go with to go off of Eli into Jones, I see potential there. Got Wentz as your quarterback. Stays healthy. That's a steal and a half. Henderson, fine. Cousins, decent backup. Yeah, hey, if once gets hurt, you have what could be a really good quarterback backup. Chargers, fine. Then that plus the kicker. Decent team. Decent all-around team. Nothing really standing out, but nothing really lacking either. Now, finally, the Columbus Rebels. Got an injury risk, but potential for what used to be a former number one unanimous pick. Phillip Rivers, a decent quarterback with a decent offense. Diggs could definitely take advantage of a Kirk Cousins resurgence. Hunter Henry. Hey, you got a quarterback tight end combo. Good job. Trubisky you actually picked two quarterbacks early. That actually kind of surprised me, especially if Trubisky's your backup. But you probably have one of the best backups in the league. Your second wide receiver is Jarvis Landry. As I said before, if he could definitely benefit from OBJ's presence. Browns, I think, was a homer pick. Olsen is prime for a resurgence. He's a comeback candidate to me. It's like after getting hurt last year, he showed signs of life in the few games that he did play. Murray is a good handcuff pick. Same thing with DK. Well, not really handcuff pick for a wide receiver, but he's up there. Trey Burton as a backup tight end, you could do worse. Golden Tate, I think, is going to fit in really well if the Giants get their act together and when he comes back from suspension. Yeah, you got one of the better kickers. Yeah. As with Trebing, or I wouldn't even say as with Trebing. You're solid in some position. You're definitely solid in quarterback spots, but nothing else really stands out. Like your main running, you have Gurley followed by Murray for your running backs. It's like you're going to be relying heavily on Gurley for your for running back points, but could work. All right, well that's pretty much the review of all the picks, along with my own personal opinions. And let's go to the league home for a second to show you something rather entertaining. There is a final standing projection. We got a listing, or at least the game telling us what they think the standings will end up at the end of the season, without showing the without taking into account the playoffs. So it's like right now we have Shaggy Sharks as the preseason number one. Second place being Pretty Boy Snow, followed by Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers as the rounding out the top three. Fourth, Team Treebing. 5, Greensburg Honor. 6, Moneymaker. 7, Metropolis. 8, Big Guy. 9, Planet Hulk. 10, Grumpy. Grumpy's Groupies. Which, like I said, the game calculated the points and said that you'll end up in 10th place. But like I said, you're either going to end up in number 1 or number 14. Parts Unknown is number 11. Team Brooks, number 12. Erie Cucaracha Roach, number 13. And Columbus Rebels, unfortunately, the game is saying that you're going to get enough points for 14th place. Or depending on the matchups and whatnot. So, will this turn out to be true? Or will we see some variance? That is for us to determine as the season goes on and all the moves that we make. We have about a week and a half before kickoff of the first game. So we got time to think about it, time to plan, time to check the waiver wire if anything's available, which it's a very shallow waiver wire, which makes me wonder if I should have made 16 teams, or 16 spots on the rosters. I probably should have made a much thinner roster, but it is what it is for this year. next year we can discuss it, figure out some other things. So, well, we've reached almost an hour. Well, for those who tuned in, thank you very much for watching my review. Good luck during the season, and may the rolls ever be in your favor. Peace.